What up, nerds? Bujo Head Jody here. I have been bullet journaling since 2017, and I would like to share my 2022 November monthly spreads with you. So, November, we got through the disaster that was October. If you haven't seen those monthly and weekly spreads, take a look. They're magnificent in their ridiculousness. So I put a little bit more planning into this one. We're going with more of a colorful theme, and we have some seasonally appropriate doodles. They are mostly pies, and they go with all the colors. So first, because we ended October on a right-handed page, we get to use this left-handed page, and I'm going to put in a calendar here. No, I do want to make this fit just this one page, so that's why these days are so super skinny. So we're gonna put one color for the weekdays, and then each of the weekend days are going to be their own color. I like doing this to sort of highlight the weekends. I do generally work a Monday to Friday, as do many other people. If you work a slightly different shift, maybe you could, put the same color for all of your work days. That's what makes a bullet journal wonderful, is that you get to customize it however you want. So for my customization for this month, purple is the weekday colors, and we have a red for Saturday and an orange for Sunday. You will notice that one of my customizations that I always do is I start my weeks on a Monday, because that just makes more sense to me. So since we are using these mild liners, there's no smudging this month, and so I get to do some fun erasing. Welcome to the Erasing Zen section of this video. I could edit it out, but I pretty much never do, so enjoy. And you'll notice I've left room for a little bit of a drop shadow. So we're gonna do that in this light gray. Now this does get a little tedious, and they're not absolutely perfect, but that's actually kind of part of it this month, is the hand drawn, sort of like a look to these rounded rectangles. If you end up doing this yourself, I'm sure you'll see all your little flaws for each individual one, but when you put it all together, they end up looking really good. So, trust the process. And one way to save space so that I have enough room on each of these little bubbles to actually write events and things of that nature, I am putting the date in the drop shadow section. And I will actually do the same exact thing with the day of the week. And now we get to the pie. So of course it needs a crust and some whipped cream. And then you just sort of fill in all the triangles that make up a pie. You can do them in different directions, give them different toppings or crusts, different patterns. One thing that I really like to do with these pies was to give them their color and then color over them a little bit darker in sort of like circular motions to sort of simulate berries within the filling. That worked really well. With these mild liners, the more you color over them, you can actually see the difference in color. It only works for a couple layers, but still enough to give the impression of fruit in a pie. And so we start off our month with the traditional financial totals spread. If you've ever seen a monthly spread of mine before, this has always been a prominent feature. It's always the first left-handed spread of the month. So sometimes it will have a page before it, but only if the right hand is available. The right-handed page is available. So this is a pattern that I do sometimes that it comes out really nicely. Instead of just doing every other, you can, with different colors, you can actually split all the colors up and vary it with an unhighlighted row. So it doesn't look so, you don't have to like basically cover the whole page with color. You can do every other, kind of use that negative white space. While still keeping all the rows defined so that you can put in your information. And then for this month, I did not define where the columns were. I do have the headers on all the columns to basically give about where they start and end. So it was easier to see the columns when it was actually filled in, because I kept track of the spacing just myself. I don't completely recommend this, unless, like me, you've done this spread a billion times before, so sometimes I don't even need the headers. So I know exactly where everything is going to end up going. So yeah, assets, debts, targets, start and end, and the change over time. And let's not forget our pie. And the next 2 pages will have 3 spreads on there. 1 financial, 1 to keep track of videos, and then another to keep track of hours. So the large one is going to be all my financials on the left-hand side. And then these 2 will be my hours and my videos. So I forgot on these to put that little gray drop shadow, like I did throughout the calendar, but I planned on it, so there's room. Which is good. So we'll make sure all of these sections get that little gray drop shadow. And then we'll fill in the colors. One problem with alternating, especially with the 3 colors that I'm using, is that I can't automatically figure out where the next orange line is going to be without going through the other 2 colors. I could count down the rows, but I found it's much easier to guarantee that I'm going to get the right color on the right line by cycling through the mild liner colors. Although you'll see I use a trick later. To speed this up a little bit. So now that I've finished the right-handed side, I kind of have a little bit of a guide. So I know that the reds and the oranges are going to match up. So I don't need to cycle through the colors for the last half of this page. I just do all the reds, and then from there it's easy to fill in each of the colors one at a time. And like on the rest of the spreads for this month, I'm just writing in the column names. I'm not actually drawing vertical lines to define where the columns start and end. Have pencil marked just the corners and where each of those rows, or those columns, I'm sorry, start and end. So we have a little bit of erasing to get through. And we'll put in the tiniest little pies. If you go watch the weekly spreads for this month, you will see some much larger pies, and so you'll be able to see these in a little bit more detail. I always do the bottom crust first, and then decide what I'm doing with the colors and the toppings and all that. But that's all there's room for, and those are my monthly spreads. Thanks a lot. Bye.